Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching how to catch a slew swing. So this is a Wolf 133B. I'm going to start by slowing to my left, and then I'll increase my speed, and then I'll catch it just heading towards my stopping point. I've already identified my stopping point, and just shortly before I get there, I'll identify a good stopping distance, and then I'll start slowing down. So now that's the first gear now. You can hear the sound from catching the feeling of the crane. That's the second gear. That's my third gear. And then that's my fourth gear. So I've increased all that. I've given it a couple of seconds interval to be able to maintain a steady slew. I'm heading towards my destination. I'm about 30 degrees towards my destination. I come down to my third gear, drop it down to my second gear, and then I'm dropping it down to my first gear. You can see that by this point I'm having little or no movement because I've slowed it down appropriately. And then I go to my first gear, and then another good heartbeat with catching the swing is ensuring that you use the brakes. As soon as the crane is in a position, you use your brakes. You watch the load swing, and then you slow in that direction to catch it. So because I've slowed down on the second gear, the swing that was the first gear, the swing that was created was in the first gear, so I caught the swing with the first gear. So say for example, I'm going to create a swing on the second gear. So that's my first speed. That's my second speed. I'm heading towards my stopping distance. And then I stop to a halt. Watch the little swing. I have to go back on the second gear to catch that little swing, and then I use my brakes to keep the load bound. I'm going to go do a quick one again just for a clearer explanation. So I'm going to be heading towards my left. That's my first gear. I'm staying in my first gear to explain this. So I've stopped, I've slowed to the right a little bit, and then I come to that right to catch it bang on there just before it gets to the stopping point, which is the point of return. Then one thing you bear in mind is you use your brakes to be able to identify the stop position of your crane. So at the moment I've used my brakes, but you can see that the load is still slightly slowing to the right or to the left. So I make up my mind where I want to catch it. Do I want to catch the swing to the left, or do I want to catch the swing to the right, depending on my stopping point. At this particular position, you can see the slingers. My catching point is to my right. So when it goes to the right, I slow to the right in first gear. As soon as I get to that point, and then I stop and use the brakes, and then you stop the load back. So there's still a little bit of I'll call it practical / physical explanation of catching the swing. So heading to your destination, slowing towards your destination, you start slowing down your speed. Heading to your destination, you identify a stopping distance where you identify your stopping distance where you start to slow down. As soon as you identify the point, you start slowing down. About 20 or 10 degrees towards your final destination, you should be on your first gear. Your first gear should lead you to your destination. That way you can maintain a steady slew. As soon as you get to your destination, you put your slew gear in neutral, and then you get ready to apply your brakes depending on how far you're going. So in this particular position, I'm going to my slinger just there. I've put my gear in neutral. I've seen it slew forward to the right. I've slowed in the first gear, and then I've applied my brakes. So I'll watch my hook block slew to the right slightly, then I'll catch it in the first gear to the right. Just before it comes back, I'll stop it there and put the brakes on, bang on. Yeah, so you would have to put in a lot of practice, you know, to get it spot on. But with this principle, following this principle step by step would help you catch any swings that you've created. remember the basic principle. If you created a swing on this on the second gear speed, so say for example you have to stop all of a sudden and you're in the second gear and you were not aware of it was an emergency stop. So as soon as you stop, don't forget you stopped, you were on the second gear when you stopped. For every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. So I'm going to do that with this empty motor. So say for example I'm swinging in my first gear and then I'm swinging in my second gear and then I'm swinging in my third gear. I'm in my third gear right now and I have to make an impromptu stop, an unexpected stop. I've made the stop now. You watch the load slew towards the right and then you have to catch that in the second or third gear that you've created it in. So I'm going to do that example now. So I'm swinging towards the silo and the silo is about 60 degrees to my right. Yeah. And then I found out that, oh, I'm going to have to stop immediately now. So I stop, the load swings, and then I come again straight away in the third gear to catch it just before it gets to the stopping point. That way, I'll continue my flow. And don't forget, always use your brakes. I've used my brakes here to show that my crane has stopped. But then the load has slowed to the left. So I want to catch it on the left. I'll go there in my first gear because I was already on halt. So that explains pretty much that I stopped the crane on my first gear. So don't forget, principle behind it, you catch the load to wherever you want to slow towards. In this particular position, this is the load swinging. So the load is going to swing to the right and then I'm going to catch it to the right. To be able to catch it to the right, I have to wait for the load to get to the point of return, the stopping point and the point of return of the load. So as soon as the load swings and gets to the stopping point, just about when this load starts coming back in the direction of in the opposite direction of the slew, then you just before it gets to the stopping point. So I'll explain this quickly in the next video, and then I'll do a next video about stopping point of swing the load. But this particular video, just before the load gets to the stopping point, then you slew in the speed that you had stopped in. So say for example you had stopped on the first speed, then you slew in the first speed to catch the load, and then you stop it as soon as you are halfway through the load and use your brakes. It's a lot to take in, but you know, subsequently you will take it in with operation and following the step-by-step rules. Like, share this video to anyone that you think might